SITREP Monthly Digest for July 2026. The month saw a marked escalation in global conflict and security tensions, with significant military exchanges and geopolitical maneuvers. The United States and Iran were at the forefront, engaging in a series of retaliatory strikes that extended across the Middle East, particularly focusing on the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Concurrently, Russia intensified its missile and drone attacks on Ukraine, with Kyiv experiencing some of the heaviest bombardments since the onset of the conflict. The U.S.-Iran confrontation reached new heights as both nations exchanged strikes across the Gulf region, impacting key military and civilian infrastructure in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. The sustained military campaign by the U.S. aimed to degrade Iran's military capabilities, while Iran's retaliatory actions underscored the potential for a broader regional conflict. In Europe, Russia's aggressive military actions against Ukraine continued unabated, with multiple missile and drone barrages targeting Kyiv and other regions. These attacks resulted in significant civilian casualties and infrastructure damage, highlighting the ongoing humanitarian crisis and the urgent need for enhanced air defense support from Ukraine's allies. Meanwhile, the Middle East witnessed further instability as the conflict between Saudi Arabia and Yemen's Houthi movement intensified, with missile exchanges marking a new front in the regional power struggle. The situation in the occupied West Bank also deteriorated, with deadly clashes between Israeli settlers, Palestinian villagers, and Israeli forces, further complicating the already volatile security landscape. The month saw a convergence of environmental and health crises, with extreme weather events and disease outbreaks dominating global concerns. Heat waves and wildfires wreaked havoc across Europe and North America, while the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo escalated, highlighting vulnerabilities in health systems. The interplay between climate change and public health risks became increasingly evident, underscoring the urgent need for coordinated international responses. In Europe, record-breaking heat waves led to a surge in excess mortality, particularly in France, and exacerbated drought conditions, prompting widespread water restrictions. The heat also fueled wildfires across multiple regions, including Spain and France, resulting in mass evacuations and significant property damage. In North America, Canadian wildfires produced hazardous smoke that affected air quality in major cities, including Toronto and parts of the northeastern United States. This transboundary pollution highlighted the far-reaching impacts of climate-driven natural disasters on public health and safety. The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo intensified, with the virus spreading to new provinces and the death toll surpassing 1,000. Efforts to control the outbreak faced challenges due to limited healthcare infrastructure and ongoing security issues, raising concerns about the potential for further regional spread. Simultaneously, a major earthquake in Japan tested emergency response capabilities, causing significant casualties and infrastructure damage. The situation emphasized the critical need for preparedness in regions prone to natural disasters, as well as the importance of rapid and effective disaster response measures. The month saw significant diplomatic tensions and political shifts across several regions, highlighting a period of both confrontation and realignment. Key developments included heightened U.S.-Iran negotiations, diplomatic strains within NATO, and political upheavals in Europe and Asia. These events underscored the fluid nature of international relations and domestic governance challenges. The United States and Iran maintained a diplomatic channel through indirect talks in Doha, preserving opportunities for future negotiations despite ongoing tensions. The establishment of a hotline between the two nations marked a practical step toward reducing miscalculations. Within NATO, the Ankara summit exposed underlying strains as the U.S. criticized allies over Iran and revived territorial ambitions. The meeting underscored challenges in maintaining alliance cohesion, particularly with disputes over external partnerships and defense commitments. In Europe, political shifts were evident, with the dismissal of Ukraine's defense minister, triggering protests, and Hungary's president agreeing to end his mandate after parliamentary pressure. These changes reflected broader governance challenges and shifting political landscapes. In Asia, India's education system faced significant upheaval with mass protests leading to the resignation of the education minister and subsequent reform promises. The protests highlighted deep-rooted issues of accountability and fairness in a system affecting millions, emphasizing the intersection of governance and public dissatisfaction. The energy and infrastructure landscape this month was marked by significant disruptions and strategic maneuvers impacting global markets and geopolitical alignments. Key developments included rising energy prices in the UK, escalating tensions in the Middle East affecting oil supply, and infrastructure challenges in Cuba and Iran. These events underscore the interconnectedness of energy security, economic stability, and international diplomacy. In the United Kingdom, Ofgem's decision to raise the household energy price cap by 13% has heightened concerns about energy affordability as the country braces for increased demand in the coming colder months. This regulatory move highlights ongoing challenges in balancing consumer protection with market realities. The Middle East saw heightened tensions as Houthi attacks on Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea pushed oil prices above $100 a barrel, exacerbating global energy market volatility. This incident underscores the fragile nature of regional security and its direct impact on global energy corridors. Cuba's energy crisis deepened with 2 island-wide blackouts in 5 days, attributed to fuel shortages and aging infrastructure. The outages reflect the broader economic challenges facing the nation, compounded by external pressures such as the U.S. fuel blockade. In a strategic diplomatic move, the United States linked a civilian nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia to the kingdom's recognition of Israel. This condition ties Saudi nuclear ambitions to broader geopolitical realignments, potentially reshaping Middle Eastern alliances and energy strategies. The month saw significant judicial decisions impacting society and human rights, with courts in the United States and Europe issuing rulings that have far-reaching implications. These legal outcomes underscore the ongoing tension between governmental authority and individual rights, as well as the influence of these decisions on political landscapes and corporate practices. In the United States, the Supreme Court upheld the principle of birthright citizenship, striking down an executive order that sought to limit this constitutional right. This decision reaffirms the interpretation of the 14th Amendment, ensuring that children born in the U.S. remain citizens irrespective of their parents' immigration status. Across the Atlantic, the European Court of Justice maintained a significant antitrust fine against Google, confirming the European Union's stance on curbing monopolistic practices by technology giants. This ruling reinforces the EU's commitment to maintaining competitive markets and restricting the dominance of major tech companies in the digital economy. In France, the legal proceedings surrounding Marine Le Pen's eligibility for the 2027 presidential election highlighted the intersection of politics and judicial accountability. The outcome of her appeal against a conviction for misusing EU funds has the potential to shape the future of French politics, influencing the far-right's role in upcoming national elections. The global economic landscape this month was marked by significant policy maneuvers and challenges across major economies. Central banks and governments navigated a complex environment of domestic growth prospects and external threats, with energy prices and trade compliance emerging as critical factors. The interplay between economic strategies and geopolitical tensions underscored the interconnected nature of today's global economy. The Bank of England maintained its interest rate, highlighting the potential impact of geopolitical tensions involving Iran on energy prices, which could necessitate future rate hikes. This decision reflects a balancing act between supporting domestic growth and guarding against external inflationary pressures. In China, economic growth figures fell short of government targets, revealing the difficulties in achieving a robust recovery. This slowdown poses risks not only to China's internal economic stability, but also to global supply chains and regional trade networks, given China's pivotal role in the global economy. Singapore's central bank reported substantial profits, driven by strong investment returns, while simultaneously addressing risks associated with technological advancements like AI and quantum computing. The Monetary Authority of Singapore's proactive stance aims to bolster financial sector resilience amid evolving tech threats. The United States implemented a new tariff regime targeting forced labor, significantly impacting Singapore with a 12.5% duty. This broader enforcement measure affects nearly all imports from 60 trading partners, signaling a stringent U.S. approach to supply chain ethics and compliance. The science and technology sector this month demonstrated significant advancements with a focus on private sector initiatives and space exploration. The dominant pattern was the increasing involvement of private companies in areas traditionally dominated by government agencies, highlighting a shift towards commercial space endeavors and technological innovation. Skyroot Aerospace achieved a significant milestone by launching its Vikram 1 rocket from Sriharikota, India, marking the first test flight of a privately developed Indian vehicle intended for orbital missions. The successful launch by Skyroot underscores the potential for private companies to transition from suborbital experiments to participating in more advanced space missions, setting a precedent for future commercial space endeavors in India. This development signifies a broader trend of privatization and commercialization in the space industry, as private entities increasingly demonstrate their capability to contribute to and expand the frontiers of space exploration. Sources and the full written briefing are available at sitrepbrief.com.